May 25th, 2015, from the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. It was WWE RAW, and we had Rusev versus R-Truth. And Rusev came out with a new attire, a new flag. He came out as the Bulgarian Brute, as he was in the colors of Bulgaria and had the Bulgarian flag. As anybody who knows, he is from Bulgaria. So he was going against R-Truth. He made pretty quick work of R-Truth. Both these guys are going to be in the Elimination Chamber match for the Intercontinental Championship. So they had this match. R-Truth got a little offense in, but R-Truth beat him it was about a 2-minute match. He got him in the accolade. R-Truth submitted. So then after the match, Rusev got on the mic, and then he called Lana out. And he asked Lana to come out there. And at first it seemed as if he was kind of trying to... Well, he was definitely trying to mend, the separation and try to get back together with her. But it seemed like he was somewhat more apologizing at first. And, they actually got to the point where Lana gave him a hug. It looked like they were back together. He said, "I know you're just trying to make me jealous." And so, they hugged and everything. It was like, oh, it looks like they're back together. And then Rusev said, "Now, all I want to hear is those 3 little words." And of course, you're thinking oh yeah, 3 little words, "I love you," right? And you're thinking, and that's what Lana obviously was thinking. And Rusev said, "I was wrong." Except not that he was saying he was wrong. He wanted Lana to say that she was wrong. Those were the 3 words he wanted to hear her say. Not "I love you," but "I was wrong." So then Lana's like, "I'm out of here." She left. He said, "I own you." And she's like, "You don't own me." And so then she ended up walking away. She called him a caveman. And then Dolph Ziggler came out and they kissed again. And Rusev was livid. He was so furious. So that's what happened with this segment. I thought this was amazing. It was so good. First you had the match that was real quick, and he came out looking real strong. Rusev's been tearing through the roster pretty much the whole time he's been in the WWE until he ran into John Cena. And it's been a pretty, physical back and forth. Even though Cena's came out on top, just barely. Rusev's looked about as good as you could look going against Cena, and not beat him. So then, even though he did beat him at Fastlane, he did make Cena pass out back at Fastlane. But then, with the most recent match, the I Quit match, Rusev said "I quit." Lana said it for him, and that was actually a matter of contention right here. Is she called him a quitter? She said, "You said I quit." Because he was saying, "You just admit that you were wrong. I didn't say I quit." She said, "No, but you did say I quit. You're the one who's wrong." And so that's, what it came down to is basically that Rusev still won't admit that he quit. And Lana's like, "Hey," she's like, "if you won't own up to your mistakes, then I'm not going to be with you." And man, this segment was just so good because it was so freaking real. It was so believable. Unbelievable performances by Rusev and Lana, especially Rusev. Rusev, man, give this guy the Oscar. Rusev, man, they should put him in movies. He was amazing in this segment. He was so good. There were some questions, too, a couple things, with Rusev coming out as the Bulgarian Brute. And then when Lana came out, she came out with the Russian music. So it's kind of alright, so is it that Lana's Russian influence on Rusev? You know what I mean? That's kind of an interesting thing. When, Russia's supposed to be more the bad guy behind the bad guy. And that was, what made the whole Rusev and Cena thing really a lot of fun was because it was a throwback to old school, Cold War angles where you had the Soviet Union against the USA and all that, Nikita Koloff and all of that kind of stuff. And, there was a lot of different guys like that. But, with him being from Bulgaria, he did in his, promo there with Lana say about how he, is totally anti-American and stuff, to which the crowd was like, "USA, USA, USA." So it's he's not really abandoning that aspect of the whole Russian gimmick. But I mean, like Bulgaria, they really got beef with the U.S. Like I did not know this. That's news to me. I know that Bulgaria was part of the Eastern Bloc back in the Cold War, although they were not part of the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union had like put in place like a dictator or whatever, and they were like running basically a communist state through their figurehead or whatever back in the day. Like that was back in between like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s or whatever, until like the Cold War came to an end, the wall came down. So I don't really get why put him as the Bulgarian brute and get him away from the whole Russian thing, with like there being that natural like conflict with Russia, and even has it's heated up more recently when they invaded Georgia back in like 2007, 2008 or whatever, and then even the different things with Putin, like to where it's just a natural heel thing. But like Bulgaria, like why? I mean, I guess it's because that's where he is from, and because everyone knows it anyway. So maybe that's why they're doing it. Or like I don't know if it was just a thing where he was just doing that to kind of try to show like, hey, look, Lana, I changed. Look at me, I'm different. Like you've had an effect by leaving me or something. I don't know if that's what it was, or if they're just kind of like, they figure it's run its course, the whole Russian angle. But I mean, he's still going on with the whole like anti-American stuff, to where it's like it's not like they really abandoned it. They've just kind of like shifted gears. I don't know if that was necessarily like the way to go. I mean, it's interesting. We'll see how that plays out and everything. Like I said, it almost makes me wonder if it's because they know that with the internet and everything, everybody's more like privy to information. We know he's from Bulgaria, so why they might as well put him as the Bulgarian brute. Why like have him be from Russia when everyone knows he's not from Russia? Even though there is, like I said, there is that connection historically between Bulgaria and Russia. They were like tag team partners during the Cold War, even though they, So anyway, that was an interesting thing. But like I said, it was freaking so amazing watching this segment. Like Rusev at times, I was laughing, and because some of the stuff he says, I don't know, it's ridiculous, but not like so much in a more of a dark humor way. Not that it's like it wasn't comical. Like his performance was very believable, like, and which made it just so entertaining to see. Like even like the love, you could see he really does love Lana. Like that was like that's something you can't even like act, or if it is, man, sign that guy a contract, put him in a movie. Forget, putting all these other wrestlers in a movie. Put Rusev in a movie. That movie will friggin' make money. But, I mean, it's just, even the whole, like, how it was like he was in love with her. You could see that so much. And then his anger. And then his jealousy. Like, he was going through all these different emotions. And they were, like, coming across, like, gangbusters. Like, it was just friggin'... It was, like, high art for wrestling, I'll tell you. So... And then, the way it all came, like, the resolution of it, too, with it, him being even a bigger heel, like, coming across as even more, like, despicable, as if he wasn't already despicable enough for all the anti-American stuff that makes you just want to, like, boo him. Even though, like I said, I appreciate, like, what he, as the heel, what he's doing, because it's like you need heels, you know what I mean? You need someone to boost. You already were like, USA, screw you, Russia, screw you, Rusev. And then for him to be like so misogynistic in this segment here makes you even more want to root against them. And so it's just like, man, they got even more heat on him. Lana was like getting even more like, cheers. Like people were going nuts when she walked away from him. And like I said, this is a very pro like USA audience right here too. I said the Nassau Coliseum, like these are like the people who's like, been rooting on, the USA in this arena, win the WWE, even the WWF, going way back even, and then even like, these are the same type of people who are, maybe it didn't happen there, but like the Miracle back in the 80s with Russia versus USA, some of those guys ended up playing on the Islanders, who then played in the Nassau Coliseum. So it's kind of like, I don't know, more a connection there. It's like a it's like New York City, basically. Uniondale, it's right outside, it's right there, like Long Island and everything. So, like, it couldn't have been better. Like, and on Memorial Day, like, the whole thing, just the heat of it, the emotion, the energy, it was an awesome segment. And you just can't get enough of Rusev on the mic. Like, the guy is freaking amazing. Like, just keep giving him the mic. Like, just keep that thing going, for real. And even, with Lana and him breaking apart, like, the tease of them getting back together and then having her leave, man, that was just too good. And the way they did it was so believable all along the way. Like, at every moment you thought, like, this is what's happening. Like, I thought that they were really going to get back together. Like, it seemed like they were. Even though you knew once he was going to screw it up once he started talking after she hugged him. It was like, just shut up, man. When you win, shut up. But then he had to keep talking. And he just had to freaking, his ego is what got the best of him for sure. They said, and then, Dolph Ziggler came out there, and they kissed and everything. So now, Lana and Rusev, like, it looks like that's that. But then again, who knows? Because you can see that she does, have love for him. And if Rusev just had the fucking humbleness to actually say that he was wrong, and even he didn't even have to say that. All he had to do, if he would have just said he wanted to hear her say I love you, he wouldn't even have had to really say too much more. He already apologized almost, like, leading up to that. But then he shot himself in the foot. So that was pretty cool. It was a pretty fun thing, and definitely got me more excited for Elimination Chamber. Can't wait to see Rusev and Dolph Ziggler in that chamber for the IC title, along with R-Truth, Sheamus, Ryback, and King Barrett. It's going to be freaking awesome. I cannot wait for it. May 31st, WWE Network, Corpus Christi, Texas. It's going to be sweet. But let me know what you thought about this segment, what you thought about the match between R-Truth and Rusev. What do you think about Rusev and Lana, about them teasing them getting back together, about her then leaving? What you think about Rusev? If you already hate him, I'm sure you must hate him even more, because he was absolutely despicable in this segment. Or let me know too if you appreciate him being so good at being bad that he's like a guy, like you love to cheer against, because he just really makes you hate him. And a great performance, like I said. Bravo, Rusev. But alright, let me know what you think in the comments section below. Thank you very much for listening. It is appreciated.